Oh, we know how you like it. Raw and uncut with DJ Baker.
Go out there, man. Do your thing. All right, go get it.
That's what I'm talking about when I talk about a clean slate. Everybody wants one of those, you know what I mean? I think that's what happened over there at Recam, you know what I mean? A shout out to Rico and Cam on BIGO. They're still both doing their own things, you know, making money, still together as a couple, you know what I'm saying? No drama, no kerflama. Yet that doesn't mean there's not drama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what they give me, Recam? It's sort of almost what I've been through when me and the minister got together, where all the drama is on the outside. You know what I'm saying? And there's no drama really inside the house. You know, inside the house is cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody knows their side of the bed. You know, everybody knows what to do, when to how, when to who wants to cook, who's not cooking. You know what I mean? Everything is a well-done machine. You giggle and laugh, you smoke, you have a good time. You know what I mean? Roll around in the hay. You know, everything is good. You know what I mean? But then you got to go to work, though. You got to make a living. They both got to afford things. You know what I'm saying? Next time we see them out, they're gonna be looking fly. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I try to get that money up for the summer, you know. I don't know why I decided to put this lozenger in my throat at this particular time, but you know what? So my mouth is a little watery. Mm-hmm. It's not the BIGO boys, okay? I got my own BIGO boy in my own house, okay? Okay, thank you. BIGO man, more like it. But shout out to Recam, you know, I mean, I'm going to get into something about the whole thing that happened, that him being a part of the Ray Potts thing. But I quickly want to say, there's put the picture up. This is what happened when somebody they were in the dark at first, but they were questioning, they were coming hard at Rico about, you know, aren't you embarrassed of, you know, looking at that man's behind and all you see is Graylin tattooed on it. Like, he want to bring up the past. You know, this is what I love about Rico. Here's what I love about Rico. He's ready for a fight, but he never gets too out of character. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Let me tell you something. I love what he said. This is what he said. You know, we all got a past. You know what I'm saying? I got a past. How am I going to be judging him on his past when I got my own past? And I wish that more people would approach relationships like this. You know, everyone has a past. We get that. You know what I mean? It's where you bring yourself to this relationship. How are you in this relationship? How are you right now? With me, he's fine. We got this under control. This is really none of our business. You know what I'm saying? All we do is check in and say, oh, is he good? They're good. Good. Let's move on. You know what I mean? Whatever problems they have, they'll let us know through their own little situations, you know? So, you know, shout out to him for standing up. You know, I know that you get it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the whole thing, you know, because he's got Graylin on his butt, you know what I mean? So he's like, when you're smashing it, you know what I mean? Or you're eating it out, you know, is it a little distracting to look onto the corner and there's, you know, this fool's name on it? I also like what he said there. He's like, I'm not thinking about all that. I'm thinking about getting in that coochies, you know what I mean? You try to get in the lips, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You ain't got time for all that, you know what I mean? He's trying to be up in the bus. You know, he's trying to be up in the bus. Shout out to Rico for that one. I'm trying to be up in the bush. The bus. All right. So I'm really happy about that. Then again, here we go to the Ray Potts. So he was in the room. So he was obviously on this retreat where they produce content off this retreat. I think this is a great thing. This is why I said I did think there needs to be a reality show. I don't know, because some people said Rico's involved and I don't want him anywhere near the Henderson guy. We don't want that, you know what I mean? But someone has got to get on this, and I really mean this, you know what I mean? There is something here, and I don't think anyone's paying attention to it, and I think Ray Potts is a perfect person to lead that because he is controversial. You know, he's someone who's not always going to say the right thing, but always says the right thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's always his delivery. It's always his delivery. Now, most recently, Nico, what do you mean? Started talking about this whole situation because what else is there to talk about? You know what I mean? Everyone seems to be all right so far. There's so much other things happening on a larger scale. That who's got time for the little deals going on? You know what I mean? You got to have some big things happening. So listen, this whole Ray Potts thing blew up, and he said he didn't know. He had to go to Facebook to go get it. And I was like, what are you talking about? I got it on IG, bro. I got it on IG. But it's okay, Nico. It's okay. This is Nico, who's smashing. Who smashed? What's his name? Oh yeah, I know. I'm gossiping now. What's his Sorry the Body? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did we have that song? We played it already. Okay. Well, let's play it again. Let's play it again. But Nico totally misread this whole thing. He's usually pretty much on it. You know what I'm saying? But this is why he's talking about something he really didn't know about. This was content. So while you're sitting there going, well, he shouldn't have did this and he shouldn't have did this, I guess you were commenting on the content. You know what I'm saying? This was content, and watching Nico dissect it was the real reason why I think that he needs a show, because I think people would have a different outlook on what was going on in that video than what Nico had. I mean, Nico had a good point. His point was very valid. You know what I'm saying? Go check out his video to see his full explanation. Trying to give Rico some advice on how to avoid being in these situations in the first place, even though he wanted to be in these situations in the first place because this is a part of making the content. I mean, I get it, but this is the reason why we need it, because so that people can dissect it in different ways. Everyone sees things from a different perspective. You know what I mean? And maybe you can get some actual people who who are sex workers who'll also give you their personal experiences and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Gosh. Well, shout out to Nico though. You gotta love that kid. Since he's come to New York, he's one popular guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. One popular guy, I tell you. I gotta love it. This is why you moved to New York, right? To smash rappers and stuff, Shut up. All right, let's go. Well, shout out to the BIGO boys, everyone. Rico and Cam are doing a good job. You know what I mean? And I think that they regulate their relationship very well in an atmosphere like this. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that fool in a minute. All right, we'll get to that one. We'll get to him in a minute, okay? Right now, we're talking about the recap, which to me needs a reality show too, because we want to know how he's making it work, right? Don't you want to know the ins and the outs? You know what I mean? You do. Most of you want to know, how does he make it work? How do they make it work? And I think when you see different people, in their relationships and how they make it work, this is why YouTube couples are so, incredibly popular. It's also why once they start doing just, sitting there talking and stuff, next thing they're taking themselves to underwears, all of a sudden they want to be in their underwear. When things start to dry up, you know what I'm saying? Then where do you go after that? Well, after the underwears, you're just doing an OnlyFans, aren't you? You're just at the OnlyFans stage of your relationship. Keep it locked to everyone. Don't forget, we got more coming up. Follow me at Just Too Dirty on all social medias. Hit the YouTube, hit like and subscribe, and put us in the whole algorithm stuff and things. And I love the comments you guys are making over there at the YouTube. They're really great over there. All right, download the We Are You Radio app, everyone. That way you don't miss a thing.
Oh, we know how you like it. Raw and uncut with DJ Baker.
Go out there, man. Do your thing. All right, go get it.